can't just come up and say, because we are funding up to 15 million rand, I'm looking for 15 million rand without identifying that, will that 15 million come back in multiples, just like you have identified. Maybe you're just a startup, you haven't done any trading, you haven't done anything. Then you can approach us, we do fund startups. And then when we fund startups, we fund your vision on what you believe in, what you have identified. And then from then, there are other additional stuff that we might require, but they are just for us to understand your business. And then we have the Youth Challenge Fund, which I manage. This one focuses on the youth between the ages of 18 to 35. South African citizens that must be involved in the day-to-day operations of the business and the management of the business. Or in some instances, there must be a full-time employee in that business so that they can see the ins and outs. The average grant you can get is between 12 and 16%.
Okay.
Because I think the job creation goes up to 100 jobs. You thread that you find 100 jobs. And most jobs you will usually come from if you are funding a service station, for instance, because it requires a whole lot of people. If you are funding a franchise restaurant, it requires a lot of people. If we are funding a manufacturing business, it requires a whole lot of workers. Also, with payment, if you fail to pay the money that we have advanced to you, the loan, the grant can be added back into that loan.
Okay.
But it's not a standard thing. It's case by case.
All right.
Businesses fail because of the market. Businesses fail because of the jockey. And then other people choose not to pay us because they can, or they don't want to. That means not they can, they don't want to. So if you don't pay us and we see that you can pay us, then we can take that money and grant that we have given to you and add it back to your debt. And then when we then go and list you, we will list you inclusive of that money you got as a grant.
Because I think at the end of the day, ignorance is not going to be justifying why your personal conduct when it comes to money.
The intention of us funding you, the intention of us funding small business is for you to be sustainable. It's for you to grow. It's for you to contribute on employment of this country. Maybe if you add 1 or 2 or 3 people, that will be something. So if then we don't impart you with knowledge or we don't help you with the shortcomings, then we'll just be throwing money into the drain.
Welcome to SEDFA Podcast. This month of November, which is Global Entrepreneurship Month, we are honored to have you in discussing a very interesting conversation that focuses on money, ching. Wealth is the ability to fully experience life. Quote by Henry David Thoreau. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a brief background of why are we talking about money. First of all, the Small Enterprise Development and Finance Agency, SEDFA, was established officially on the 1st of October 2024. The amalgamation of the organization was the merger of 3 entities, as we previously known them as SEDA, SEFA, and CBDA, formed this amazing organization that is now able to bring a bouquet of offerings. We're talking funding, we're talking cooperative banking, we're talking non-funding. But today, because we are moving closer to the end of the year, if you've been careless with money in how you spend it in your business, or you didn't succeed in getting any application approved, this is a perfect opportunity so that next year when the year starts, you start on a good note. I'm not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I am with an expert himself who's going to be telling us about how to finally get that funding from SEDFA. In the spirit of Entrepreneurship Month, which the theme for this year is Together We Build, we're definitely building together with my guest, Mr. Zolisanani. Welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. As introduced by Sharon, my name is Zolisanani Ngxobongwana. From the lending unit, I am responsible for the Youth Challenge Fund, a program that focuses on youth, innovation, and also youth startups.
All right. Thank you so much for that introduction. As you've heard, we're going to be talking funding from our unit within the organization called Lending. All right. A lot of people start businesses. Let's start it from there. And when they start a business, there is a point or a juncture where they need funding. How can you advise them where to start?
Okay. Yeah. For someone to start a business, they might have seen an opportunity somewhere, an opportunity in the market, an opportunity in the community that they are from. And then after identifying that, you need to go to your own drawing board, you map out on what you want to do and how to do it. You go around, research on how big is the market that you have identified and how much of that market you are willing to capture before you come for funding. Because when you come for funding, what we're going to ask from you is that how much share of the market do you want to capture, and how much money then are you looking for? You can't just come up and say, because we are funding up to 15 million rand, I'm looking for 15 million rand without identifying that, will that 15 million come back in multiples, just like you have identified. So those are one of the basic things that we are looking at. You must have a market, you must have a product before anything else. And then because we are living in a country that is full of laws, then you must understand that for me to start this business, which laws must I follow? First of all, there are company registration laws that you must have a registered company with CIPC. You must also be registered at SARS. And then just, it doesn't end there. You must also be up to date. Do your returns at SARS, even if you haven't traded yet, because most people will register their business. And then while they are thinking on how to execute their strategy, register that business. But each and every time your year ends, go and update your stuff, your compliance at SARS and CIPC. If you are operating in a municipal land, also know the bylaws of the municipality that you are operating from. Because if we fund you and then next thing the municipality kicks you out of the spot that you are operating from, and then that paints a big picture on us, because we'll be promoting what you call people that are not following the law. So follow the law. And then after that, when you have all those basics, you are on the on a good path to be funded. And then after that path has been done, then you can approach us. Maybe you're just a startup, you haven't done any trading, you haven't done anything. Then you can approach us. We do fund startups. And then when we fund startups, we fund your vision on what you believe in, what you have identified. And then from then, there are other additional stuff that we might require, but they are just for us to understand your business, because you are the one with the understanding of the business. Now you have to sell it to us so that we can sell it to the next person that is willing to listen to your story.
Okay. I love the fact that you've touched on compliance, as well as the importance of feasibility study. Capture your market, know the rules and regulations, as well as have proper documentations in place. I think most of the time, entrepreneurs tend to skip that phase and only focus on the money part. All right. So let's now discuss the money part. How much?
Look, we have different. Okay, first of all, at SEDFA lending, we have what you call products
Okay.
and what we call programs. So I'll firstly try to differentiate between the two.
Yes.
With products, it is what we are going to fund you with, and then programs is what we're going to fund you under.
Okay.
With products, we have an installment sale agreement. Basic example: you're looking for a truck. As an individual, if you are looking for a vehicle, you go to the bank, you apply for vehicle finance.
True.
It's more like that.
Yes.
Apply for vehicle finance, you get approved, you get your car, a shiny car, with all the pictures, and then you sign contracts. That car belongs to the bank, right?
Until
Until you finish. Same thing with us.
Okay.
You want the machinery, You want equipment, you want this beautiful broadcasting equipment, you come to us, you say, I want this equipment, I want this machinery, I want this truck. Maybe I have a logistic contract somewhere. I want, any asset.
Okay.
It's funded under installment sale agreement.
Okay, I'm going to disturb you there. I'm going to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
What documentation must I bring? Must I bring business plan or those compliance documentation that we spoke
It's
about?
still continuation of the story from registering, identifying the market, registering, having a product, compliance, and then now said, okay, I want to produce t-shirts. I need a machine. I need sewing machines. I need embroidery machine. So that forms part of the asset, and then you'll be funded under an installment sale. I have a contract with the logistics company. I have a contract with the mining company to move coal, to move chrome, to move all these products around. So we will fund that truck, we'll fund that machine under the installment sale agreement.
Okay.
And then that machine, that truck must be insured by you. You remember what happened in Durban a few years ago when there were floods, where they were looting. A lot of business
Very
didn't come up
unfortunate.
because they were not insured. Fortunately, there was the insurance industry came in and assisted where they could, but not everyone was assisted through that. So insurance is to assist you with such. Business bend down. So how do you recover? Cars get stolen. How do you recover? Machines get stolen. How do you recover? So make sure that it's insured. When you're funded under us, then our interest must be noted on the insurance schedule. This means that in case of a fire in a factory or in case of a theft of your vehicle or truck, we will claim on your behalf.
Okay.
And then we will fund, if your account was up to date, then we'll go and procure a new truck for you, a new machinery for you, or any of those losses that were made. If maybe even revamping the building, if that part was insured. And then also in terms of vehicles and trucks, they must be fitted with a tracker, because for you to be able to claim for insurance, you must have tracker. And then we'll also go claim it on your behalf. We pay it, we settle you settle with us that insurance money that comes through settles your account, and then we see that how we can assist you. But if you have none of those, you are putting yourself and us in a difficult position. Yeah. So those are the requirements that you are funded under installment sale. Then you move on to a term loan. A term loan is used for, you see, maybe one of the businesses around your community or around your area is on sale. You come to us, look, there's a business on sale and then they are doing well. And then I would like to own that. Maybe the owner is retiring or is moving overseas or no longer interested in owning that business. We'll fund you under the term loan. We'll fund the purchase of that business, but it must be a going concern. And then after that, you will require stock to continue trading. We'll buy you stock under a term loan.
Wow.
You will require salaries because you have to pay the workers.
True.
You will fund you under the term loan, right? And then as for small equipments like the laptops that costing less, it will fund you under term loan because it's cheaper like that than having to go and draw an installment sale agreement. Then after that, we move on to a revolving facility. It's for people that are busy with projects. You're constructing something somewhere, maybe for the next 5 years. You're waiting for your contractor to pay you. You have to pay wages, you have to pay suppliers. So you come in and then we fund you under the revolving facility. Also, we use the forecast that you bring to us. We don't just bring something from air. We use what you are proposing and then we put it into test. That's okay, you're looking for 10 million. You are looking to pay 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have a contract. How much is your contract? Okay, my contract is 50 million, my contract is 100 million. And then what are your costs in that contract? What are you looking to pay? And then how much are you going to be left with before we come in into the picture? Are you then going to be able to afford pay this amount? And then also we have it's for 36 months, that revolving facility, and then it's reviewed every 12 months. Say if you still afford, because if there's money, people always come back for more without checking am I still, do I still need the money? Because there's also that tendency of people, if there's money available, I'll go for it, even if they don't need it, which then hamstrings them in the future. Then we have what we call bridging loans. Bridging loans are for purchase orders, mostly. You were given a purchase order by ESCOM, for an example, or let me not mention name, by one of the big corporates. You have to deliver something. You don't have money at this instance. Then we'll say, okay, fine, we can help you. But for now, it's up to 5 million. It's up to 5 million. We can help you to deliver what you need to deliver. So when we fund your purchase order, right, we will require a session to be released by the person that has given you the contract, to say that the money that we have advanced to you, then they will pay that whole amount that they have a promise to pay. In some instances, maybe it's a 6 months contract, it's a year contract, and then it has milestones.
Okay.
So they will pay as per certain, maybe as per each delivery, maybe after a certain number of days. Once they pay, they'll have to pay to our bank account. Then we take our portion, and then we release the remaining balance to you.
All right.
And then in some instances, there are people that will go behind our back and then get the contractor to pay them without paying us. That has put us on a back foot, but yeah. And then in the absence of sessions, because now sessions have become fraudulent, and also with not us avoiding putting you in a difficult position of not being able to deliver the session, the contract, then we'll ask for a joint bank account.
Okay.
Where all of us have rights over it, where a SEDFA representative will form part of that bank account. When the money comes in, they will know. For a transaction to take place, both you and that person has to go and sign for that money to be released. So then we'll take our money again, we'll sweep our money, and then we'll transfer your monies to you, so that you can be able to go on with your business. And then we have our commercial property. It's mostly for people that are in the manufacturing space, because you are operating in this the property, right? You feel like, okay, the rent that I'm paying could fund this property so that I can own it in the future. And maybe it's like, I'm tired of hustling with my landlord. I want to own this property. You say, we can fund you under that from up to 84 months. And then, but if then we see the affordability issues, we can increase the months, maybe up to 120. But they have to be based on something. For us also to fund that property, must be there, operating there. At least if it's a single let property, 50% of it must be occupied by you. If it is a multi-let property, at least 30% of it must be yours. Must be utilized by you. We don't fund properties where you say, I'm going to rent it out. You have to be part of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So those also will take a mortgage of 84 months and more over that property. Also, once it's done, just like an ISA, once you are done paying us, we'll transfer the car to you under ISA. Once you have done paying the property, we'll do the necessary transfers through our lawyers to you. Then you own the property, and then you will move on to the next client. Then these were the products that you'll be funded with under SEDFA. Then there are programs, right? We have TREP, it's Township Rural Entrepreneurship Program. This one focuses on businesses that are operating in the townships and rural areas. They must be operating in the township. I'm not saying I'm staying in the township and then I own a business in town. No, it has to be operating in the township. It's to promote a township economy. It's to make sure the money circulates within the township before it leaves the township. This has been discussed a lot, that the money in the township doesn't stay in the township, it lives in the township. Through this, you allow it to circulate amongst the township so that we can build a sustainable township economy. So this product runs up to R1 million, right? And then is pay for repayments of up to 36 months, 5% fixed interest rate. The change of interest rate going up and down doesn't affect it. It stays at 5%, it's fixed. So under this program, we fund your typical township businesses. Chisanyama, the cooked food side, the meat, then not the alcohol side. You don't fund the alcohol side. It's called the morally reprehensive sector.
Okay.
They're not involved. We will fund the food, the meat, all good. We fund abomama batungayo,
The sewers,
sewers,
seamstresses,
embroideries, and all that. And then we fund also the salons, which is the beauty industry, one of the biggest industry in the world. That we find it under that. For a salon, you want to open a salon? Come on, you can come and apply with us, and then we can find you. You want to open a nail bar? You can come and apply for us. And we also fund the mechanics. You maybe you've been fixing cars in your yard. Now you want to move to a bigger space where you can get contracts from the insurance companies to fix cars for people around your area. You can come and then you set up what you call a workshop that can be accredited, that can be approved. And then through our business development support, we can come in and assist you to put you where you're supposed to be so that you can be a recognized mechanic, or your premises can be approved to fix cars. And then we also fund the bakeries from the township and the car washes also. If you identify a spot for a car wash, you can come in the general dealers also. We fund them under a TREP. So how that 1 million is split, let's say it's 1,900,000 of that. Up to 900,000 is a loan, and then up to 100,000 is a grant. So you are coming in for 100,000. We'll give you 50,000 loan, 50,000 grant. 150,000, 75,000 loan, 75,000 grant. 200,000, 100 loan, 100 grant. 250,000, and that's when it's kept. 100,000 loan and 150,000 grant. 150,000 loan and then 100,000 grant. Then the loan part then goes up to 900,000 and the grant stays constant.
I don't think there's any better deal out there.
No, there isn't. But maybe let me go further. Maybe someone else might find something interesting. And then we have the Youth Challenge Fund, which I manage. This one focuses on the youth between the ages of 18 to 35. South African citizens, they must be involved in the day-to-day operations of the business and the management of the business. Or in some instances, there must be a full-time employee in that business so that they can see the ins and outs, because those are one of the issues that really happen with businesses, that you are not involved. You are not the operations are run by your workers. Hey, they will sell you. They'll sell you short. Your business can collapse because of your employees. So when you are there, you know what's going on there. You can quickly arrest things that are not good. So under the Youth Challenge Fund, we have two channels. We call the red channel and the blue channel. And then we also have a startup limit of up to 2 million rand. Yes. So under the red channel, it's your innovation, tech, youth, they are involved in those kind of things. Not to say that other people are not, but you will find most of them there because they have
they're comfortable, they're passionate about that.
Passionate about it, yes, yeah. So under that, for a startup, it's up to 2 million, right? And then we'll give you a loan of up to from 60%, and then a grant of up to 40%
of that 2 million.
That doesn't mean we're going to give you the full grant of 40%. As I go, I'll tell you who you'll qualify for a grant. And then we have the blue channel. The blue channel is your any typical business out there, your manufacturing, logistics, your franchise, your general dealer there in the corner, cookies that you want to open. You are youth, you have seen that opportunity, you are starting. You can get up to 2 million from 70% loan and up to 30% grant. You have started something, you have been operating, you have been doing well, you are seeing progress, and now you want to go big. You can come again. We have a growth limit of up to 15 million rand under the Youth Challenge Fund.
Oh, wow.
So, under that, it's up to from 80% loan and up to 20% grant. The Youth Challenge Fund is fixed at 5%. And that is the most cheapest fund at SEDFA because you get so much of a grant and then a fixed 5% and up to 60 months repayment terms. This program came about through the ministry. They identify that, look, we have all these programs and we say we fund the youth, but there's nothing specific for the youth that is designed specifically for the youth. That's how the Youth Challenge Fund came. That's why it has these segments so that we don't leave the youth from other sectors behind. It's very inclusive and it's very fair when it comes to the sectors. All the sectors are there as long as they are legal. Yeah.
True.
They are there. So this fund started off by the Department of Small Business Development together with the EU EDS support program. There was money that is put in by the two organizations to support the youth. There is business development support involved at pre and post investment.
Okay.
You have applied and you have identified this opportunity, and then you decide to apply with us. We assess your application, that there is potential in this business, but there is something lacking. Maybe your financials are not making sense. They were just put together because we get that a lot. Maybe you need marketing in your business. You don't need the finance. You need marketing. We come in and said, look, as business development support, can you assist us with this client? Can you train this client on how to get clients and how to retain the existing clients? And then those guys are not going to do the work for you. Going to go in and then you learn on how to do those things so that you stay with the skill. And then, okay, we see you see your business, you see a potential in your business, we decide to fund it. But there are still these small issues that you need to solve. Maybe there are financial statements, but you don't understand them. We'll take you to training.
Okay.
Say, here, train this person on financial statement, on how to analyze financial statements. Also, you need mentorship. And maybe you need an industry-specific mentor so that you can have a good understanding of this. We don't want a situation where we spoon-feed you. You go and learn so that you can come back and apply, and then you stay with that skill for years to come. Because the intention of us funding you, the intention of us funding small business is for you to be sustainable. It's for you to grow. It's for you to contribute on employment of this country. Maybe if you add 1 or 2 or 3 people, that would be something. So if then we don't impart you with knowledge or we don't help you with the shortcomings, then we'll just be throwing money into the drain. And then we have what we call Small Enterprise Manufacturing Support Program.
Okay.
So that one focuses on businesses that are in a manufacturing space. You know, in the past, our country used to have these manufacturing hubs. And then they died down with, I don't know what has been the cause, but we are trying to revive that. We are trying to manufacture proudly South African products. Okay. So this program is there to assist that. We're trying to bring in more black people within the space because a few of us are in that space. So hence this one came through. Again, it funds almost similar things as the other programs.
Okay.
Fund the machineries because that's the biggest
Cost.
requirement or cost. We fund for the accreditation of the product that you have manufactured. Maybe you've been manufacturing in your garage or a back room for a certain year. Now you want to come out. You have captured the market. Now you want to grow. You have identified the space that you want to operate from. You come in, we help you, we fund you, the machinery, as I said, the setup cost of that space, because now when you buy machines, they have to be set up in a certain way for you to produce your product efficiently. We come in and assist with that. It has to be accredited, SABS approved if it has to be, and other accreditations like the health HASAP, for the health side. And then for also you want to buy raw material, we fund you under that fund. You also want for salaries, for rental, for utilities payment. For you to qualify under that fund, again, South African citizen, that's standard. Up to date at CIPC, up to date at SARS, just like the other product. And then if you are operating in a certain industry, you must be accredited or you must have applied for accreditation. Or if we identify that those things haven't been done, as I said, we will come in and assist you. You must be operating for at least 2 years. Okay. For you to qualify, you must have started something already. Do not say, I'm going to, but you must have done something. You must have had foreign clients through that. So it's up to 15 million rand also. And then 80% of that from 80, it's a loan. And up to 20% is a grant. And then for you to qualify for grant, especially for the Youth Challenge Fund and the Small Enterprise Manufacturing Support, we use a weighted scorecard.
Okay.
For the Youth Challenge Fund is that the youth ownership in the business.
Okay.
How much of that? It starts at 51%. The higher it goes, the more allocation you get on the scorecard. How many jobs are you creating? The more jobs you create, the more you get an allocation for the grant. Your daily involvement in the business. If you are fully involved, you get the full allocation of the scorecard on the scorecard. And then also then the sectors. If you remember, I said the red channel and the blue channel, where then if you're in the tech space, then you'll get a bigger allocation on the weighted scorecard.
Okay.
And then if you are just generally, you will get, and then it makes up how much you qualify for the grant. The average grant you can get is between 12 and 16%.
Okay.
Because I think the job creation goes up to 100 jobs. It's rare that you find 100 jobs. And most jobs you will usually come from if you are funding a service station, for instance, because it requires a whole lot of people. If you are funding a franchise restaurant, it requires a lot of people. If we are funding a manufacturing business, it requires a whole lot of workers. But you don't just gonna say, I'm gonna employ or I'm employing 60 people. We're gonna go there and check if indeed you can supply, you are employing them. We're gonna go there and check if indeed your business can add more people. We have to be realistic. For instance, for service stations, we know that we measure a service station with the number of liters that you have. Okay, you say it's a 200, let's say 300 liter service station. So we know how many islands you're going to have, how many people are needed to manage, how many people inside. And also maybe your service station has a convenience shop. We'll know how many people are needed for the convenience inside, that the cashiers that are going to assist the convenience shop, and then the petrol attendants. So we will know. You won't just suck that I'm going to employ this many people. We will know how much. And also the number of square meters that you have for a restaurant, we know that you're going to employ this number of people on average. So those are the things that we look at for you to qualify for a grant. Also, for the manufacturing support, also the number of employees that you have also counts towards you receiving a favorable grant. And then this grant is not just a grant, free money. Yes, most people think it's not a free grant. It is a conditional grant. This means that when we approve a law or when we approve your application with a grant and then a conditional grant, there are conditions that we approve under.
Okay.
One of them is the jobs. You say, I'm going to maintain this number of jobs and create this number of jobs. You'll come back a year or two after and say, hey, have you created those number of jobs? Or you adjust.
You're holding them accountable.
Yes. And then also with payment, if you fail to pay the money that we have advanced to you, the loan, the grant can be added back into that loan.
Okay.
But it's not a standard thing. It's case by case.
All right.
Businesses fail because of the market. Businesses fail because of the jockey. And then other people choose not to pay us because they can or they don't want to. That means not they can. They don't want to. So if you don't pay us and we see that you can pay us, then we can take that money and grant that we have given to you and add it back to your debt. And then when we then go and list you, we will list you inclusive of that money you got as a grant. So we look at that. So the common requirements for all of this fund that must be registered at CIPC, up to date, get CIPC and SARS, be a South African citizen, employ South Africans, because as you know, our unemployment rate is not desirable. So we are a government agency that contributes to the creation of jobs. So we can't find a business that employs most people that are not from the country. Where you have to, a majority of your employees have to be from South Africa. At least some others require 70%, some others require 95% employees. And also in some instances, depending on the size of your business, you might be required to register for your AIF for your employees. You might be registered for other requirements for the sector that you're operating from.
Okay.
For instance, if you are applying for a service station, we'll pre-approve, we'll approve you. And then one of the conditions that you must get your certificate from the Department of Energy for you to run a service station. We will only pay the money after the certificate has been given to you. And because now we don't want to promote people that are not following the law.
One of the things that I wish that we can touch on is what must our entrepreneur focus on so that they stand a better chance of being funded? What mistakes or errors must they avoid?
Look, from my observation and from my experience, I'm not an expert. I'm just I work with entrepreneurs, and when you work with people, you pick up certain flaws, what they're good at and where they lack. Our entrepreneurs tend to focus on the operations
Okay.
side of the running of the business. But the other side, like compliance, they tend to not
They're
focus.
slacking on
They are
that.
slacking on that. Sometimes they outsource it to a third party. Sometimes it's not there, it doesn't exist. Yeah. Like I had said that CIPC, SARS, we are a government agency. We cannot bypass those. They have to be there. And the other part, be compliant with the industry standards or the industry requirements. You can come with the business development support for such. They can assist you with that. They can help you to guide. They can help you and guide you towards being compliant. That is one of the basic issues. Then come the numbers side. For me to fund you, your numbers have to make sense to me. Because you're saying you're looking for this much. Can you afford it? And another mistake that you'll see, because we fund up to 15 million rand, the person is just going to apply for 15 million rand. And then when you assess that, you realize that it doesn't even break the million rand. But because there's 50 million rand available, you apply. For me, as a person behind a desk that is assessing your application, that means you don't know your business. You don't know your capabilities of the capabilities of a business. You are just find a founder, if I could put it that way. So also understand the performance to record everything that happens into your business. You can go to a bank, they will want records of your business performance. You can go to your uncle, your rich uncle, and say, "Uncle, I'm looking for 100,000." Uncle is going to ask you, can I see your bank statement? Can I see how much you're generating a month? Can I see if you are going to be able to pay me my 100,000? So know your numbers, know your performance. If let's say I'm looking for 2 million and currently I am around maybe making R1 million now, how am I going to afford that 2 million? How I'm going to capture more market to push me to that 2 million rand bracket so that I can afford this additional 2 million that is coming to my business. Also, bank the money that you make so that you can have a trail. Even if as an individual, for you to get a bigger credit, you need a trail.
True.
You need a trail to say, I'm earning a salary. Or I am selling a product out there, and then this is how much money is coming into my business. So that's how affordability is also tested to say, I bank. And then your behavior in the bank also matters. Do not run your personal affairs in your bank account.
Yo, that one.
We don't want to see you or to see a transaction that came from a place that has nothing to do with your business. It must be strictly for business. Pay yourself a salary. You must afford yourself first before you can afford our funding. If you barely make it as a business, and then you bring and you cannot pay yourself, you cannot pay your suppliers, and then now you want for funding. Yes, maybe you want funding to buy more stock so that you can have a comfort. Maybe you want funding for you to be able to buy salaries, to pay salaries. But at the same time, funding should not be for consumption. It should be to enhance your business. It should not be funding to pay salaries. You could fund to pay rent because you need that space to operate. We can fund to pay, to buy stock. Then maybe salaries, but it should not be the major issue because now you're going to pay salaries. What happens next month? But if I fund you for stock, you're going to sell that stock. Then you're going to generate revenue and then you're going to be able to pay me. So those are one of the challenges that the entrepreneurs have. Also, keep good conduct of your credit profile. Yeah, it's one of the major factors amongst the Black community. I'm sorry to say this, and also our Black youth are also in there. I'll give an example. Last year, before last year, I was an applicant. Got an opportunity with the employer. Now they have been given work that is outsourced to be the independent. Let me say with a courier company, to be an independent company, to operate as an independent. And then when we check their credit status, they had 2 prescribed debt. It means that your creditors could not get hold of you for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
You ran away from your creditors for 3 years. And then your debt prescribed. And then one of the installments was barely more than 100 francs. And this person was employed. So now you get this big opportunity to operate your own business. Now you cannot be funded because your behavior is, your business is judged from your own behavior in terms of a credit. Unfortunately, it's like that. You can have a beautiful running business there, paying all your suppliers, but if when as an individual you don't, then you're gonna have problems because currently the jockey and the horse are not yet separated in our country for small business. Maybe in this new what you call regulations that are being put out there, it will be the case. But currently, your behavior, your credit score, your credit behavior is judged for the business to receive funding.
So, in essence, it means if you're blacklisted, you're not eligible for funding.
You're not eligible, but there are ways you can be assisted. For someone that is not prescribed,
Tell us how.
you go to your creditors. My creditor, I haven't been paying you. I'm sorry. Can we start afresh? Can we work something out?
Okay.
You negotiate new payment terms. You pay for 3 months. And then after paying for 3 months, you do this before you apply with us. After paying for 3 months, keep that letter, that arrangement letter
Okay.
with the creditor. Keep those 3 months payments with the creditor. So that when you apply with us, if our system picks up that you are still listed, then you can say, no, I have a payment arrangement with the creditor, and here is my proof. Then we can be able to assist you going forward for the funding. But if you haven't done those, then we'll reject your application, and then you say, go and sort out yourself out. And because we understand, especially during COVID, a lot of people lost their jobs. So we will be unfair if we say we are not going to assist you. We assist you. Look, I always say this to people out there is that we are not like a bank. We won't behave like a bank. We have a personal touch compared to a bank. You don't deal with the system all the way. The system is just there to assess the basics, registration, compliance with the statutory bodies like SARS and SEDFA, your credit score. That's just a basic assessment. Once you pass those, then your application is given to a human that you're gonna be dealing with, but you're gonna touch that when we go through the application process. So those are the shortcomings that our SMEs tend to have.
I'm glad. I'm sorry to interject. I'm glad you touched on it because I think at the end of the day, ignorance is not going to be justifying why your personal conduct when it comes to money is hindering you to access funding. So it's important that as individuals, as entrepreneurs, whether you are still a young person opening an account, behave because later on in life, it's going to catch up if you're not doing it properly. So that's the bottom line. We cannot separate a human being from a business entity.
Yeah.
It boils down to that. That was very insightful. And it cuts across all business sector, whether it's the programs that you shared with us or the various funding programs, it still comes down to your credit profile. Now that we have an understanding of the various programs as well as the fundings that is available, I just want to find out, what is the interest rate? You mentioned while we were sharing the duration for repayment, but what is the interest rate?
Okay. Yeah. Starting from TREP, right? TREP, the interest rate is fixed at 5%.
Okay.
Up to 36 months repayment terms.
Perfect.
And then you have the Youth Challenge Fund. It's fixed at 5%, up to 60 months payment term.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's quite a sufficient period.
Yeah. And then you have the Small Enterprise Manufacturing Support Program.
Yes.
It's prime minus.
Okay.
And then it's fixed at 60, but because there is that building involved, we can go higher, but it's depending on that.
Okay.
And then if one does not qualify under these programs, we have a product at SEDFA that is called Retail. It has been a product that is, could say, anchor product or catalyst product if you want to push it further. It's been in existence before these programs existed. It's been there where it's priced at prime plus, depending on the risk that he pros. So it's for those that don't qualify. In the past, it was usually used for logistics, for your what you call this, franchises and any other business, but it was mostly those two leading sectors that were dominating that product. Even now, it's still the case. If one is not with it, one is not in the township, one is not in the what you call this, not and it's not manufacturing. So it's priced at prime plus, and then others youth fixed at 5%, TREP fixed at 5%, manufacturing support prime less, depending also on the risk.
Okay. I want to touch base again on the youth.
Mm.
It doesn't matter where you are staying, right?
No.
As long as you're South African and you meet the requirements
Yes.
and you are eligible for funding.
Yes.
Remind the viewers again, what is the minimum amount? What is the maximum?
Okay, for youth, you can, for a startup, you can apply up to 2 million.
Okay.
For those then that have been operating for longer, they have passed the startup stage, they want to upscale, they can go up to 15 million rand. That is the limit for the lending unit, the direct lending unit. Direct lending unit means that we are lending to you as an individual.
Okay.
Then we have the wholesale, what you call the wholesale lending unit also. But that one, we fund two intermediaries, then they will fund the other businesses or smaller businesses, more especially on the informal sector.
So are you talking about Mashonisa?
Not Mashonisa. I don't register. Mashonisa, I don't register. So we'll find a registered business that can fund the smaller guys.
And they are compliant.
They are compliant.
All right.
Like a person that is looking for 10,000 now, they can be funded by those intermediaries. Unlike you're looking for 10,000 now, and with us 10,000, comparing the cost of funding 10,000, we're making a loss in funding you, and then we might also be, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then another one before we move on, it's regarding TREP.
Okay.
You want to scale, the business is doing well, you've got a clientele that is growing, and you want a bigger operating space, but there's none. Kukasi. But there is available in town. Where does that leave?
You're in the township. You want to
or are you allowed to also grow your market share and open another one in town, but still servicing the township?
Has to be the township business.
Okay.
You started in the township. You grow, you become known. We have funded you through TREP. We have done our part. We have opened the market for you.
Okay.
Right. Then you have applied the same way, TREP. You are manufacturing a hammer in your bedroom and you're growing. You can come to our manufacturing support program.
Okay.
You qualify for it. You are a saloon, you are a youth, you started off through TREP, you have identified space in town, you can come to the Youth Challenge Fund. We will assist you. And then if then you don't qualify in the end of this, we'll look through the retail programs. How can we assist you? Can you be able to afford? It's in a bit of the expensive side, but it's not that expensive. Maybe average of 15% interest rate. Then we'll look at if retail cannot assist you. Also, as much as we are competing with other DFIs, we can go to the ones that have the product that you're looking for, because we are developing. You have developed, you have outgrown some of the products you have, then you can go outside to the market and say, look, SEDFA assisted me to get where I am right now. And currently, there's no program that can help me to move further up.
Okay.
We can look at, and then you'll have a track record that would have assisted you, because we want you to grow, we want you to be sustainable. We don't want you to stay in your little corner there, making your 5 rand and then you are happy. We want growth. But that doesn't mean that if you are happy, you are forced to grow. No. But if you want to grow, there's always other institutions. In some instances, we do co-fund with some of them. To say, look, we fund up to 15 million. The other institution can fund up to more. Or maybe even that institution can say, hey, SEDFA, I have this client, and then our limit is this much, and it needs an additional this 5 million. Can you come in and assist with that 5 million? We do come in and assist, because at the end of the day, we share the same view or same vision of sustainable small businesses.
Okay. And then what about the hawkers and Spaza shops?
There is a fund for Spaza shops. It's run through us, SEDFA, and NEF.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not clued up on that one, but what I know that they fund, there's different funding under that. They fund for stock. They fund your operational equipment, like your point of sale, your till. Let's say, okay, I have a garage that is, I'm not utilizing it. I want to turn it into a Spaza shop. Then you fund it for the setup of the Spaza shop and also the point of sale. And also maybe you need additional equipment. Maybe you sell quarters, and then the fry chips will also assist you with that, with the fridges, with equipment that is required for you to sell those kind of things. So we do have that funding. Also, we do have a funding under what you call this, co-ops. We do fund co-ops.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we also do fund co-ops. In the past, it used to be 2 million, but it's under review now, so I don't know how much is it. But you put yourself together, at least 6 members, to start a co-op, and you also must be involved. And with my past experiences with the co-ops, is that there's always one ringleader that everyone listens to. When you are part of a co-op, you are as responsible as the chairperson.
Okay.
You must know what's going on in your co-op. You must know how much is being made and how much is going out, and what the co-op is responsible for. Because the mistakes of the members is just want to be employed, and then the chairperson can just do as they please. And then if you are a co-op, you are fully responsible as the chairperson. If it fails, you are fully responsible. If it becomes a success, you're also fully responsible. We also have the Amavulandlela funding scheme.
Okay.
It focuses on people living with disabilities, right? It's not a program, it's a scheme, because under the programs that I've listed, they qualify.
Okay.
If they are youth, they will fund it under the Youth Challenge Fund. If they're in manufacturing, they'll be funded under the manufacturing support program. If they are in the township and then they don't qualify for any of those two, they'll be funded under TREP. So what makes it different is that it's a scheme, so there are benefits for people living disabilities, because we want to bring them in the mainstream of the economy. So they get a pre-funding support of up to 70,000. For this is to impart them with knowledge, right? Training how to access the market, training how to get customers, training how to fix certain issues within your business, maybe financial literacy and the likes. Then we have a post-investment support. We have funded you, right? Then we still identify issues. We're going to give you up to 350,000, not to you, but it's a support that is available to you, to say, we're going to allocate you a mentor. We're going to pay the mentor ourselves. You still need a brush up on your financial literacy. You continue with the training for that. It's up to 3 years. That support, depending it's on the needs of the entrepreneur at that particular time. So it's a scheme. It's not a product. It's not a program. Yeah.
Phew, quite a mouthful.
No, there's a lot. We are here. You are for the growth of small businesses.
Yes, definitely.
Look, our process is hybrid. It's online and there's with a human element. How is that? First of all, for you to apply, because after COVID, we move away from walk-ins.
Okay.
We move towards the online process. With the online process, you go to the website, and we have a new website, the SEDFA website.
Yes.
You go to our website, www.sedfa.org.za, and then you go read there first. Go and check what is available. Of all the things that I've shared, they are there, and then maybe I might have missed one or two things that you're not clear about. Go there, read the requirements, right? After reading the requirements, go and prepare your pack that is required according to what you want to apply for. Prepare the pack. After you have collected all the information, go to, then you say apply. When you apply, you are taken to a new page where you register on the portal. That does not mean you have applied for funding. You have registered on the portal so that you can be able to go in and out of the portal. When you register, we'll send an email to you, the email address that you provided us, and then you go and verify it, and then it takes you back to the profile. So, then after that, you then start by putting your information, ID number, your CIPC number, ID number, which we do the background check if it's not listed somewhere. If it's listed in the credit bureau, you might not be able to
Proceed.
But if it's not, then you proceed. Same thing with your CIPC number. If you are having issues with CIPC, we'll be able to pick that up. Also, if you're married, we'll also be able to pick that up. And then after that, we have known your business, and then you then go out there. What are you looking for? Okay, I'm looking for funding of 50 million. What are you going to do for that funding? Are you a startup, or are you a growth phase business? You choose a growth with. Then it populates, and then algorithms come up what you can qualify in terms of products or programs.
Let me interrupt you there.
Yeah.
So already after completing the first few questions, it automatically give you the parameters to say this is what I'm going to be working with going forward. That's amazing.
Our system is like that. It's a push system. If you make a mistake or you chose something wrong, it's going to show you what, according to what you have chosen.
Okay.
Yeah. Only don't rush when you're going through the system. Yeah, it's not going to close. You can clock in and out, read with understanding, and choose what is relevant to you. Do not just choose something you don't know. If you feel like, hey, I don't understand these things, go back onto the website, read what is in there. If you still cannot understand, call our helpline. They will be able to explain to you.
Okay. I guess another avenue is to also walk into the old SEDA offices, because we've got 56 across the network, and there's practitioners that are there to explain and give more clarity.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you choose, okay, I'm a startup. I'm looking for funding to buy equipment, to buy machinery, okay, in stock, okay. I'm youth, then youth, you'll be pushed to the Youth Challenge Fund.
Okay.
I'm in manufacturing, you'll be pushed to a manufacturing support. I'm in the township, I'm not in none of this. I'm above youth, I'm not in manufacturing, I'm not living with disabilities. Then you'll be given TREP, and then the requirements of TREP will be the ones then that you'll be required to fill out.
Okay.
And then, okay, what are you going to use the money for? How much are you looking for? It's get us there. Then the second last page will be the documents page, which is very important. On the documents page, please submit what is being asked. Do not submit a blank page. Do not submit something that you have submitted previously. If it says bank statement, submit a bank statement. If it says business plan, submit a business plan. Because once it gets to the other side, you are wasting your time and that of the person that will assess this, because now they'll be forced to be sending you emails. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. By that time, they could have used it to process your application. So you submit all those documents, and then you press, before you submit, the acknowledgements documents that are there. Then you'll fill them out. Then you will submit them. Say, this is my business that I'm applying for. And also, I do not owe anyone, or I have a facility with a certain organization. List it there. And then you say you fill it out, and then you submit it with your other documents. You press submit. After pressing submit, you get your application number. That is when you have an application with us. And then that application number is your reference number that you're going to use when you are inquiring about your application.
The status of it.
The status of it. Then that application will be pushed to a region. Also, it's very important that before you apply, you update your address, or you check that I'm still in the place that I'm in, especially when it comes to the province or the area, because the address that you use, it's one that we're going to use to be allocated to a place closer to you. Some other people, you'll be living in Mpumalanga and you start moving to Jozi and you start a business. You have started a business, you registered a business while you're in Mpumalanga. Now you are applying here in Jozi. Your application will go to Mpumalanga. And then now, then the person that will be allocated to Mpumalanga now is here. And then now you have to swap, or maybe you have to continue with the application because already these people here have their allocations. So now you are coming in, you can't jump the queue for those that came before you. You have to wait for this person to finish whatever that they are working on. But if you have chosen the right, you have updated your address and before you apply, and then it gets allocated to where it's supposed to be, the time to assess the application is faster because it goes to where it's supposed to go. Now we have to change the system and all the likes. It becomes a tedious project that adds to the delays. But if you have chosen everything and then you get allocated to the region that you are based, then someone gets allocated to your application. They assess it, all the documents that are required are there. Good. Sharon, we have received your application. We are happy with everything that is being asked for is there. I am Zoli. I am going to be your investment officer or investment analyst that is going to deal with the application. Okay, Sharon, you do not attach bank statements. You do not attach the business plan. There's nothing I can do. Can you please update this within the next 7 days? If you don't, I'm going to close your application.
And you have to restart.
You have to restart. So it's very important, as I said, prepare your pack before you start with the application. So if they are happy, then we continue doing a basic assessment. Okay, you're looking for 500,000, looking for 5 million, you're looking for 15 million. Can you afford those? What is in your business plan? What is in your bank statement? What are you proposing? Does it make sense? If it does, okay, we'll continue. Okay, you say I'm going to buy machines. Who are your suppliers? We go to your suppliers to check. Okay, your supplier exists. We do a supply verification. And then we also come to your business premises to see if you actually exist.
Yes, due diligence.
Due diligence. Due diligence, we check if you exist. Okay, this business exists. Then we come back with all of that information you supplied at the beginning, and then the information that we got with the due diligence and supply verification. Sit down, I write a business proposal or business case on your behalf.
Okay.
Business case is going to go to commit. But I'm not writing a business case from information that I got from somewhere. It must come from you as an entrepreneur. All the questions that are asked by the representative, answer them. All the information that is required, give it, because from my assessment, I've picked up that I need this for it to make sense, for me to be able to sell it better to the commit. Put together the proposal, I send it to credit analyze it, so said, okay, you are proposing this much, can you afford it? To do checks, okay, checks and balances, it's good. Legal, they do their checks also to say, is this a legal entity? Is this person that is applying not politically involved in any of those things? They must declare. If you are a politically involved person, you must declare. Even if you are the child of that person, you must declare so that we know beforehand. We check if there's no negative report of you on the media because we don't want to be associated with such. And then if there was a case against you, were you successfully convicted or did you win it? Those kind of things. Then after that, we are in line with the investment officer, the credit person, and then the legal person. We go to committee. I present as an investment officer that here is Solipitwa Ltd is looking for funding of this much, and then this is what they do, and then this is how much they are making, and then this is their performance, and then from the information that I've given, this is how much I think they will be able to pay they'll be able to pay us back, and then they afford what they are looking for. Committee deliberates, and then they ask compliance. They check the affordability. They check if it's indeed within what we fund. And then if they are happy, they vote. And then after that, after voting, we come back to you, said, hey, you've been approved. Or if they have issues, said, no, 1, 2, 3, 4 is not clear, can you go back to the drawing board? Then your application gets deferred. We come back to you, we ask for that information, we fix, we go back to commit. If it's declined, we write you a decline letter and say, sorry, it's declined because of 1, 2, 3, 4. And also decline can also be written a basic assessment. Said we declined because we don't see the market that you are proposing. We would then go back and fix 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't just say, hey, it's declined and then we move on. Decline and then sometimes we can decline you at a basic assessment and say, business development support, can you assist in helping this client to get to the next phase? Then after committee, we write you a facility letter with a term sheet. Said, hey, you have been approved for this much that you have applied for. We can even say, hey, what we have applied for is too much for this business. Let's reduce it. And then we're not just going to reduce it without your permission. We're going to reduce it. We're going to propose it to you. And then we're going to tell you why. And then you're going to say, okay, I accept. Okay, I decline. Then we can go our separate ways. And then if you say go on, we continue. You get approved. We send you that facility letter with the terms or with the conditions that your application has been approved under. Make sure that your SAR is up to date. Make sure your SEP IPC is up to date. Or FICA, those are internal requirements of FICA. And then we identify that, hey, you are withdrawing the money of the business within. And said, hey, pay yourself a salary, please. And then move all the personal stuff from your business account. You are purchasing a business from someone. Then we're going to say the conditions of Section 32, if I'm not mistaken, or 34 of the Insolvency Act, where you go and advertise on the government gazette that the seller must go and advertise that they are selling this business so that their creditors can come up and say, hey, you still owe us. And then you advertise in 3 newspapers, English, Afrikaans, and any of the other languages, so that your creditors can come in, hey, this guy still owes me money, so that we don't help you purchase this business and then it turns out that it's indebted. And then when you purchase something and then it transferred to you, those debts stay with you. So another one will be the Department of Energy for a service station. And then for those that have been given franchises, we will then, because of the application, you apply with this, what you call, contract that says, we have given Zolisanani Ltd this contract to run a franchise, but it's not a final contract. So after we have finally funded, you will say we want the contract. And then maybe you're going to use these premises, and then you're going to have a pre-agreement with the landlord. And then that once you get funded, then you will utilize the space. And then once that is done, we'll want the final lease agreement to say, this, I'm going to use this space. And then it must be equal to the duration of the law. If it's 60 months, that lease agreement must be for 60 months. And then if you have squabbles with your landlord and then you decide to leave within those 3 months, 3 years, if 60 months, please make sure that you tell us so that we know where you have moved to. We don't have to search for you. And then you sign that facility letter, and then you go and then put together those conditions that we have asked for. You submit them, and then also, or you collect them during that time. Then you sign a facility letter. We send to legal. Legal vets it. It's fine. Then they produce they throw legal agreements. They get sent to you. Read them. make sure that you know what you're signing up for. Make sure that the money that you have been approved is exactly as that. Make sure you understand the interest rate. If you don't understand the terms, you have a right to consult any legal person, or you can come to us and then we'll sit down with you and explain to you that this is this, this is that. You sign the legal agreements, you submit them, and then you give us the conditions, and then you give us the invoices or codes or pro forma invoices for the suppliers. We do not pay money directly to the business. The only money that we pay is for your salaries because we can't pay your workers. We will pay all the suppliers, we'll pay the landlord, but for salaries, we will pay directly to you with the salary schedule, with the hope that indeed you have the number of workers
They are not
who have
ghosts.
seen. They are not ghosts. When we went to do verification, you did not call 10 people to come to pretend to be busy, because you're going to come back the next time to see that indeed those people are still there. Give us a list, their roles, and the ID numbers for verification purposes that indeed these people are employed to you. Then after that information is collected, the person, there's a division called OPSUP. They put together the information. They do verification of the suppliers, the invoice, that it meets the description of a tax invoice. It means, and then for codes, we'll ask if his code is still valid, and also for the pro forma invoice to say it's valid, and then those goods are still available that we are paying for. That machine is still there. If it's still being manufactured, when will it be delivered?
Okay, let me disturb you for a bit there. What is the turnaround time of the whole process
Let me finish.
as we wrap up?
All right. The turnaround time, the first one, the basic assessment, it is within 45 days.
Okay.
You should receive a notification that we have received your application. We are processing it. This should take at least 3 months. But for a turnaround time to be faster, a whole lot of things have to be correct.
Yes.
The information that you provide from the start, it has to be a quality information. The communication between me and you during the funding process, when I ask for something, supply it as soon as possible. Because now, when I ask something, and then I'll do the other stuff that are available and then put that part aside and I'll wait for you to supply what I'm looking for. But if everything is there, I'll be able to move up until I get to committee. And even if after I've been approved, as much as you have the right and time to read the legal agreements, you must know that the longer you take, the more time we'll spend in getting to the part where we pay for the suppliers, or we pay for whatever that we need to pay for. So, in instance, 3.5 months, that's how quick it should be.
Okay, so we're dealing with 3.5 months.
It should, in
If
an
everything
ideal
is done
situation,
seamlessly.
in an ideal situation, it should be 3.5 months. But you should understand that we are in the
Back and forth, delays, follow-ups, and so forth.
and also as an organization, we're in a
Mm.
transition phase.
Correct.
Yeah, we're still trying to find each other with the new unit, and yeah, then once everything is set with the new entity, that should be the ideal
Time.
time.
All right. So, what is the parting message as we close the session?
So also during this phase of your application, that does not mean that you must go out there and be reckless with the credit score, because before we pay, we will also check
Again.
Yes, so that to avoid reckless lending. Check you're still up to date with SARS and CIPC. And also your suppliers will still check. And also you must keep your conduct in a rightful manner.
Okay.
If before, during, and after your funding. Because honestly, as much as the business is an independent, is independent from you, but still dependent on your behavior. If you behave well and you invest your time in your business, it will succeed. And there's no guarantees in business. We understand that. There are challenges. Whenever there are challenges, approach us. Just like when that call from Edgar's comes in, answer that call and then negotiate with them your payment terms and stick to the payment terms. Same way with us. If you have revenue issues, come to us, say, hey, I need a payment break. My sales did not go as the way I had envisaged. We're going to come in and said, okay, what do you propose? I'm proposing a 3 months. Okay, after 3 months, what's going to happen? No, I think I would have made enough sales. And then how much do you think you'll be able to pay after those 3 months? So I'm going to be able to pay 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, come. Okay, give us 1, 2, 3, 4 information. Give us your bank statement. Because, yeah, the things that we find in the bank statements from our clients, you find out the business is making money, but they are channeling it to somewhere else. Those are the other things that we find there. My parting shot to the entrepreneurs out there, that the same way you keep your operations into your business, also invest in your compliance. Stay compliant. Also invest in your financial literacy side. Understand how much money are you making, where is it going, and how much I am left with, because you don't know where the next investor will come from. The next investor can come in at any time and want to see those things, and then if they are not there, the more time you take to supply those things, the opportunity will leave you.
Thank you very much. This has been very informative session. Personally, also for myself, I've learned a lot. There's a lot of takeaways from what you have shared with us. So as we are closing, I would like to remind our entrepreneurs, our SMMEs, whether you're a startup, you are running a Spaza shop, wherever you are, please visit our offices. We've got 54 branches across the network. If you don't know how to locate the closest office, check our website, www.sedfa.org.za. We will be able to locate the nearest office. Especially if any of those information that you read on our website, you are unable to get proper clarity on. Practitioners are ready and available to assist you. We will never turn you away. Whether you've done the wrong things and based on the information that we shared today, you are not eligible for funding, it doesn't mean you cannot change your behavior. Have somebody holding you accountable, coaching you. That's what we are here for a business that will generate, grow, pivot, but most importantly, creating legacy. I think that's one of the biggest mandate as an organization that we stand for. We want to create businesses that are not only benefiting you as the original owner or the conceptualizer, but rather benefit next generation and create more wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure talking about money. Spend it wisely, be disciplined. We love you, all of us, from SEDFA, Comms and Marketing Team, signing off, Sharon Mai.